Well, hello there, ladies and gents. This is one of the last couple from me today, unless that is I go on the internet or on the TV and see something else that I feel needs commenting on. But news is a bit thin on the ground today, other than the continuing Schofield melodrama. And my next one is going to be about Schofield and the Holmes and Wooten interview, but only a little bit. A couple of thoughts I had today whilst in the car that nobody's yet touched on. But this one's slightly different. I'm going to tell you all, it's not a rant this, so if you want a rant, leave here. It's just a chat. I'm going to do something different. It's like a Q&A thing. Well, not a Q&A. I'm going to tell you a little story, and I'd like those that watch it, that have got a moment, just to reply to it. But the reply will be with a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and I'll explain why in a moment. I'm going to tell you something that happened to me about 3 months ago that I still to this day can't believe happened, but it did. And I always thought I'll share this story when I get 100 subscribers, because if I've got 100 subscribers, at least 50 of them might watch it to the end, and 50 of them might comment. And then I can get from that whether I'm well off the ball or whether I'm on the money. I think I'm on the money, and I think most people will. I've got over 300 subscribers now, so I do hope 100 watch this, and I hope 50 do the thumbs up or thumbs down. What I'd like you to do, I've got 5 questions to ask at the end of it after I've told you the story. It's only a short story. And of the 5 questions, there's yeses or nos. I'm going to tell you what I think they should be. If you agree with me 100%, I want you to give a thumbs up. If you don't, give a thumbs down. But I'd like you just to tell me, if you'd give a thumbs down, which points you give a thumbs down on. And in an ideal world, if you could just comment why I'm wrong. It's just something for my peace of mind and me sanity. See, what I don't want to do is 100 people see it, 30 people give a thumbs down, and they're just people that I visit a site thinking this is a load of crap. I'll just do it to wind him up, and I don't mean it because I'm not really listening to it. I'd like it to be genuine answers. So if you agree with it, thumbs up. If you disagree, thumbs down, but just let me know why. And that's fine, I won't fall out with anybody. Right, here's the story, and then 5 dead quick questions. A few weeks ago now, I'm away on a do. You've probably loads of you been on do's for either a leaving do, this was a leaving do, an anniversary, a birthday, a wedding, stag do, hen do, whatever it might be. And we're at a do, and they say 20 of us. 20 is even a nice number. It's not quite 20, and it's split between 15 and 5 because they're easy numbers to work with. They're slightly out, but ever so slightly. We're on a do. It's actually a leaving do, and it's a leaving do at a race course not a million miles from where we live in Haydock. You've heard of Haydock races, I'm sure. And it's for a guy who used to work for Fred Doan, one of the big bookmakers in the UK, and he's having a leaving do. And they put something special on for him. Now, a mate of mine tells me about it about 4 or 5 weeks before we go. A good mate of mine, well, used to be my best mate, to be honest with you. Still a good friend, still a nice lad. Let himself down a little bit with certain things, but nice lad to all intents and purposes. He tells me about it. He says it's a surprise do, and he says we don't want the recipient to know. I'll tell you the names. I won't tell you last names. I don't want to embarrass anybody. In this story, there's 2 Tonys and a Steve. Steve is the guy that's leaving work. He said Steve's leaving work. He wanted to do something for his birthday, like go to Liverpool for the night and whatever else. He said, and somebody high up at Doan's have said, take him to Haydock that day. Haydock races he's on, and we might do something for him. So he said, we suggested to him, let's go Haydock races. The racing's good, and we could go town or Liverpool or whatever. He said, yeah, we'll do that then. And anyway, this fellow from Doan said, bring him there and we'll look after him, and bring some of his friends. And my mate said to me, he said, it could be anything this day. He said, you know, they might get us in cheap with comp tickets. They might get us in for free. It could be in one of the nice rooms. It could even be a box. It could be anything. I said, yeah, we'll go, no problem at all. He said, but it's a surprise. He knows nothing about it. Fair enough. So anyway, we meet in the pub beforehand at like 11:30, 11:45. Some have gone in at 10:30 for a breakfast. Some have gone just before the coach comes. I'm one of them that's a breakfast at home, gone just before the coach comes. And as I goes in, Steve there, who's doing it, didn't know I was coming, shakes me hand, dead pleased to see me. Nice lad, no problem. He said, Dave, great to see you. He said, I didn't know you were coming. He said, I feel awful, he said, because it looks like they've done something in a box. And I thought, well, I already knew that might happen. He said, done some a box with Fred. Fred's going to do a little presentation for me and say a few words. He said, but it's a private box. I thought, well, yeah, we heard that was coming. He said, but it's only for sort of 2 or 3 people. He said, so I've asked the 2 Tonys to come. Now, Tony's the guy that mentioned the do to me 3 or 4 weeks previous or more and asked me to go it and whatever else. I said, that's fine, no problem. So I think we're going to go there. He said to me, we won't be up there all the time. He said, probably we're thinking of quarter of an hour, half an hour. He said, but we might stay a little bit longer if they're going to do a presentation. We don't want to seem ungrateful and go there and rush straight out. I said, yeah, that's fine, Steve, that's no problem. It's your do, that's fine. Anyway, we get to the race course, we go on a minibus, we get there about, say, 12:30. I said, there's 20 of us. So there's Steve, who's doing his, and 2 Tonys, that's 3 of them. There's another 3 on the bus, one guy I used to go to school with, one woman he's married who I don't really know, and his daughter, who I've never met before. And the woman that the guy who was married, she works at Dones as well, so she's already in the box because she's pretty high up at Dones, and she takes her husband and the kiddie in. So them 3 are going in it anyway. My 3 friends, the guy who's doing this and these 2 Tonys, they're going in the box, which is fine with. I think it's only for a short time. That's what they've led us to believe. So we get in there at 12:30, and the 3 of them just went off straight away. The 2 Tonys and went off to the box. They never even came in the room that we're in. We're in the room, nice room, but we're in one of the bars with lots of other people. Don't get me wrong, by the way. It's ended up being virtually free to do this. The tickets are all complimentary from Dones because they sponsored the day. They asked would we all put a £5 in. I think the charity of the company is Macmillan's and Nurse. So I said, yeah, £5, don't mind putting a £5 in. We all gave a £5 and we paid for the minibus. Anyway, we get about 12:30, first race is 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock comes, I've seen nobody. Oh, the guy from school and the wife who I don't know and his daughter who I've never seen before, they came in the room with us. It's about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, then went upstairs. Anyway, say my 3 mates, the guy who it's with has gone upstairs straight away. And wherever he's due, by the way, he's leaving work. 12:30 he's gone upstairs with the 2 Tonys. 3 o'clock comes, still not seen them. 3:10 comes, they come downstairs. Now bear in mind, we're in this big bar, no problem at all, but we're buying our own drinks. If we want any food, we're buying our own food. We're all stood up, there's not a single chair left in there, everything's gone. We're queuing up at the bars and whatever else. They all come down, 3 of them at 3 o'clock. They've had a great time. One of them's just been on, I think, Guinness all the time. One of them's been on Guinness and champagne. One of them says he's never drunk as much champagne in his life. They've ate well. They've got a great view of the race course. They're seated at tables. The darts player that's just won the World Championship, the guy from St Helens, the big lad, I can't remember his name, I should know it. My lad loves him. He's in there on one of the tables. He's part of the old the freebie afternoon, which is fine. He's a well-known sportsman. Anyway, they come downstairs and they're with us for about 15 minutes. And after 15 minutes, Steve says, who's doing it, he talked to me, he says, Dave, we better go up now. He said, they're serving afternoon tea in a minute and Tony didn't want to miss it. So it must be afternoon tea with cakes and biscuits and this, that, and the other. I thought, oh great, I thought it's good that he's being able to get it. Anyway, so they go up, racing ends, and at 5:30, the last race was just gone, and at 5:30, they're doing a presentation to the winning jockey for 5:45, let's say, at Haydock there for the last race. And the race is in my mate's name. Fred Donor sponsored it and put it in his name, and he's presenting the trophy, which is all nice. And I'm stood there thinking, we've been here from 12:30 till 5:45. We've come on the guys leaving do. 3 of them have gone upstairs and everything's been comp and they've been nice and snug and everything's been nice. The rest of us all paid, and that's not what the problem is, by the way, ladies and gents. The rest of us have been downstairs for 5.5, 6 hours, not seen either hair of them other than for 15 minutes. And one of the big concerns was they was worried about missing afternoon tea because they came with us, the commoners. And I thought, I've never been at a do like it. I have never been at a do in my old cream puff where the person that's do it is, they're with you for 15 minutes of 6 hours. And I just couldn't believe it. So it's a little Q&A. I've got questions for you, and I just want to know if others can get where I was coming from, because I think the 3 of them don't get it, which is weird. It's for my own peace of mind more than anything else, but it's just also I think I'm 1,000,000% right in what I'm saying, and I just don't understand how anybody could go on a coach with 20 people and leave, what would it have been, 12, 13 of us downstairs on our own to when we've come to celebrate the guys leaving do. I just thought it was weird. So here's the questions. This is how I would do them. For me, it would be no, yes, 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 no. So it's easy. Bookend, no and no. 3 yeses in the middle. Just tell me what you think. These are questions. Right. If it was your do, or if you was one of the 2 going upstairs with the guy whose do was, could you do that to 13 or 14 others? I couldn't, so it's a no. Would you have been disappointed if you were one of the 13 or 14 left downstairs? For me, it's a yes. I was more than disappointed. Number 3. Do you think the others downstairs would have had good reason to have been disappointed? Or if it was you that was left downstairs and if you were one of the three and you twisted it and you was one of the 13, 14 downstairs and 3 were upstairs and you'd gone the do for one of the, would you be disappointed? The answer to that for me again is yes. Number 4, would you rather have been told, even if it was only a day before, that what was going to happen was 3 people would go upstairs, including the guy who we're there for, whose do it is. They'd come and see you for 15 minutes, but for 5.5, 5.75 hours, you wouldn't see them. Now, had I been told that even the day before, I'd said, look, leave it there, I'm not for going. Not because I'm having to go downstairs and buy drinks and food, because I thought that was coming with her anyway. There was a slight chance we may have been in the box, but it'd never been confirmed. So I was going anyway, that was no problem. But if I'm going to somebody's do, to their do, I'm going to be with them to celebrate whatever the thing is, be it a leaving do, as I say, anniversary, wedding, stag do. I'm going with that person. I'm going for that person. I weren't going that day for the racing for myself. I was going for the person who we were celebrating for. So, would you rather have been told the night before and given the option whether or not to go? I mean, if I'd have been told that before, I wouldn't have gone, simple as that. And I'd have still said, I'll pay the £5 to the contribution, that's no problem, I'll pay the £5, but it's not for me. So, my answer to that would have been yes, I'd have rather known the night before. And last question is, have any of you ever experienced anything like that? Have any of you ever been to somebody's do, any kind of do, and for the whole night they're not with you? And I don't mean because they're mingling with others and they're having a good laugh. I mean because they've got one room. It's like say go a club, some kind of club. They go a club, a nightclub or whatever else it may be. It might have a VIP area. And say there's 15 of you. 5 of you are allowed in that VIP area and 15 aren't. And the 5 that are allowed in there stay there all night. Say, from 8 till 2 in the morning, and they come out and see you for 15 minutes, then go back in, the same 5. Has that ever happened to you? And that's it. It took 11 or 12 minutes. If you've stayed to the end, I hope you have. That's great. I'm sure many of you won't have done. I mean, many of you might not see this, but I'm hoping and praying at least 100 see it, as I say, and I'm hoping 50 do the thumbs up or thumbs down. If you agree with those points, no, yes, 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 no, tick. If you don't, not tick, thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. But let me know which points you would differ on, or which points you don't agree with me on. Sorry for waffling on, do apologise.